Wake up, Lincoln. It's time for Early Break, brought to you by Dana Trucking. Live from Lincoln, America. Here's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Busch.
I want to buy a couple ducks. I'm bringing 2 ducks into the office.
This is Early Break.
Good morning, happy Monday to you. Steve Sipple out today, out all week. He is Bill Busch. I am Jake Sorensen. An early break. Hope you have a great Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Bill, good to see you today.
Good morning. Are you allowed to know where Steve Sipple's at?
Am I allowed to? Because we talked to Sip. He told me about a week ago. I'm surprised he never told you until you called him this weekend.
You don't. There's certain place you happen to. You happen to go to Columbus. You happen to be in Omaha. You might happen to be in Kansas City. You don't happen to be where?
He is in the wonderful, beautiful state of Hawaii.
Hawaii on vacation. He never told me. I had to call him on Saturday because Jake let me know you might want to talk to Sip.
I did.
So he's known about this for solid 2 months that he was going. You don't just all of a sudden go to Hawaii you know what? Let's go to Hawaii. When? Wednesday. No, that's not how it works there.
I'm a little surprised that he didn't tell you ever at all.
No, nothing.
Because it's like he kind of was like, yeah, I'm going to Hawaii. Like, that's not just something you just do. You got to plan for this.
That's what I mean. You don't happen.
This is an 8-hour flight from somewhere.
At least.
Yeah, I mean, at least you've been there many times in the American Samoa area.
Yes.
You know, many flights in that area.
Hawaii was my recruiting area. Being out of Salt Lake helped a lot.
Yes.
Direct flights from Salt Lake to Honolulu. So that helped me a bunch. But yes, that was interesting that Steve did that.
Yeah.
So didn't tell anyone.
So he's there for the Polynesian Bowl.
Polynesian Bowl, a high school all-star game. So get your subscription to On3 because I don't think you want to miss a second of what's going on during the Polynesian Bowl in Hawaii. There'll be some information coming out of there, so you want to make sure you're on top of that as Husker fans.
You do want to do that. So we'll check on that. And we'll keep updated with Sip in terms of his whereabouts in Hawaii. Maybe he'll call in. Maybe you can't call in because it's like midnight probably. What time is it? Is it 4 hours away?
Hey, do this for me, Breakers. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you out there that have Steve Sipple's number. Text him right now.
Please do.
Text him right now. He's in Hawaii. It's probably 2 a.m. there, somewhere in that time. Please text him. He's asleep. Please text him. It would have been nice if you'd let everyone know. Also, if you also talk about the ticket, on 3 now will be 25% off. 25% off your subscription because of this situation that's going down.
Yes. So again, Sip is gone all week. Please text him again. Like you said, everyone who listens to the show, you should have his number. He received 450 texts the day he somehow slipped and gave up his phone number.
He gave his own number on air, and you guys have it.
We did not pry that from him.
He needs to hear from you right now.
Yes.
In Honolulu.
Please let him know that he is missed and wake him up because I think it's 2 a.m. right there. Or 1 a.m. I forget the time, but it's 1 or 2 a.m. Make sure he knows he's missed, and we'll see him next week at some point.
I remember one Hawaii Times story where Kyle Whittingham called me and he wanted to discuss just thoughts on what was going on with his life.
Okay.
As far as because he had both the Utah and the BYU job offered to him simultaneously. At that time, we're both in the Mountain West Conference, and Kyle played for BYU, and so we just had he just called just to kind of talk, and then also talk about some job possibilities. I was at Nebraska at that time, but I was in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I answered the phone call, and it was 2 a.m, and we talked for about an hour. And finally he goes, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in Hawaii." He's like, "Oh Lord, I'm sorry." I had no idea.
2 a.m.
Yeah, it was 2 a.m. I was talking to him, and said that he took the Utah job, and it's went extremely well for him.
That has gone well for him. So I have people saying that they have texted Sip. So Thank you. At least 4 or 5 far have.
Also do this. Send repeated text.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't just send one.
If there's no response, make sure he sees it.
Just give him the Hello.
It probably didn't
the
go
hello
through.
Text. Yes, maybe something. Just keep firing them at him.
Is this thing on?
Yes, let him know.
On? Yes. Okay. Idle chit chat before I get it going. Did we see the story that has made national news yesterday in Lincoln, Nebraska?
I know I have, and it's good, and it's a good one.
This screamed Bill Busch to me. Not you were doing it, but this is a story that you would love. So
it's shocking I wasn't there. That's within 4 minutes of my house.
So yesterday, if you somehow missed this, Lincoln made national news for a skid loader scene. Yeah. Not just at Home Depot, but at the U-Stop over at 73rd and Highway 2, the Taco Bell over there. Some guy gets in his, drives his truck over with a skid loader on it, gets the skid loader off of the truck and starts just ramming into things. He basically totals 4 cars at the Taco Bell by the new U-Stop at Highway 2.
Oh, I didn't know. I knew he did that. I didn't know he totaled that many vehicles. I know he had been at several stops.
He started there, and then he drove all the way over to Home Depot at 70th and Highway 2 and just starts to just wreck everything. He goes right into a police officer's car, just dismantles this car, and then he just takes out several other cars as well in the skid loader. It was a story. I could not believe my eyes that was in Lincoln, Nebraska.
When I watched it, also I was shocked that he was alive, because when you drive a skid loader into a police car, they're gonna fire back.
Understandably
which
so.
Which would be understandably so. Yes, it was very understandably so. So yeah, so it was remarkable. And then literally about 4 minutes from my house, in a parking lot that I've been in numerous times.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't have want my truck to get hit. I really wish I was at least there. I would have loved to have been just exiting the Home Depot, with my bag of water softener salt or something.
What's going on out
here?
Some of that kind of skid loader is going crazy.
At first, you probably think maybe something happened, or maybe like he passed out or something's going on. Nope, it was all intentional.
Yes. Still don't know exactly. Again, I saw the police report about listen to this. It doesn't say exactly why this happened, what the motive was, if he was some sort of influence going on here at all, but. I feel bad for anybody involved whose cars got destroyed. And by the way, the wonderful liquor store at 70th and I guess Pine Lake, just north of Pine Lake.
Basically, yes.
He took out the front door.
I did not know he took the front door of the still.
So I think before he he drives over from Taco Bell and then U-Stop and then comes over. He destroys the ATM in the bank just north of the still, drives over to the still, takes out the entire front door. There's surveillance video from the outside and the inside that shows him just ramming through, and the people inside are saying, what the hell's going on? What's happening? He just rammed through the front door, took out the entire front door, then goes to Home Depot and does his thing over there. So you saw the Home Depot part. There was more.
That's all I've seen.
There was
Home Depot.
more. Yes. There was more than that. Was the last part.
I couldn't imagine you stopping the still to grab a bottle of wine for a dinner, and all of a sudden here comes a skid loader through the front door.
Yes.
So your first thing you'd think would be it was an accident. Your first thing you would think if you're in the store, you'd be going, oh, that's an accident. Hope this person's all right. Nope, that wasn't what it was.
You just see this like a half hour to 45-minute excursion that the skid loader guy was on.
Yes,
just ruining everything.
He was serious about it too. Went to several locations.
I know, and I love I feel bad for anybody involved that had damage, if there's injuries. I feel terrible, but kudos to this is an example of a time when I was glad that people had cell phones. We always complain about cell phones, people are on them all the time. There was a lot of different people that were recording this. The gal inside Taco Bell got the footage, posted it of the cars getting damaged. We saw several reports from Home Depot. I saw the surveillance camera from the still. So kudos to all the people that provided video. But man, was
there a breaker that saw any of this live? Please text in. There's a breaker who saw any of this live. Please text in. We'd like to get a live account of this.
Any breakers out there?
Not just off the video. I was there. No. I was there. I saw it live. Saw the whole thing live.
Nyla on the text line says, one of my former coworkers' husbands works there and got his truck damaged due to this fool. Luckily, he got out okay. Truck got damaged.
Yeah, there was one injury, I believe, right? I read there was one injury. Just one, which is shocking. And that's the part that's obviously you can replace a vehicle. You can replace a lot of things, lives and limbs, no.
There was a moment, Bill, in the very clear video that the skid loader again had already hit the police car. Then he's making the rounds. He's going to go right at it into the windshield. So this could be bad for the police officer. He might severely get injured here, but I think he ended up being okay.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But what a wild situation in Lincoln, and again he's been caught. He's been arrested. He's no longer out there. It's terrifying people at this point. But
yeah, that was real.
What an hour in Lincoln yesterday.
What an hour.
Yep. Anything else for idle chit chat, Bill, from you this weekend?
A couple things.
Yes.
A couple things. Drought's over.
Yeah, it is over.
Drought's over, so that's good. And then also just how lucky we are to be on the air on this great day of Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yes.
And so a quick story about that.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously, we're well educated on the greatness of the man. But I remember when I was in recruiting, the schools in general are all closed on these days, but we would still be on the road in January recruiting. And I was at New Mexico State, and I was with Rich Glover. Rich Glover, who was Outland Trophy winner here at Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
I think 20-plus tackles in the game of the century. He was the D-line coach there, and we went and saw a family in the Bay Area. We were recruiting. And I had to drive. It was about a 3-hour drive from wherever we were at, the Bay Area to Sacramento. And that's where I had to be the next morning in a school. And so I drove those 3 hours, and there was a podcast, only a podcast at that time. We're still in the 90s now. This is like 1996 or something of that area. And so, but it was on the radio, and I remember it was on AM radio, and it was just a complete documentary of Martin Luther King. And it was an amazing documentary, but it was awesome for myself to hear the 4 hours uninterrupted while I was driving with really no one on the road. And so it was just an educational moment too, that there was, just several more things that when you heard about this man's life was incredible. So just lucky to be on the air on this day, and just a great day to celebrate.
No doubt about that. Again, certainly, a huge iconic figure in all time, Martin Luther King Jr. We obviously do a ton of respect to him, everything he stood for, everything he's provided,
absolutely,
in this life. And before we get to the more news from the weekend, I want to give a quick shout out, Bill.
Yes,
quick shout out.
Please do
a quick shout out to the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
The Detroit Lions won a playoff game for the first time in 32 years last night.
And was that game at home when they won it?
Ooh.
It was at home?
I think it was at
Josh,
home.
Are you sure? Josh, you shook your head.
Yeah, it was at home.
So it was at home. I was just wondering that when it came up, it was like, okay, if they won it 32 years ago, then also at the same time, was it at home? Because
the Lions had lost before last night, 9 straight playoff games. They don't make it very often. They had lost 9 straight games, though. They hold on and beat the Rams, led by former quarterback Matthew Stafford of the Lions, 24-23. It was the only good playoff game of 4 this weekend.
Yes.
There was 3 blowouts.
I'm not going to push back on any of this. Just my Bills thrills is heavy into that game.
All right.
And so there's a lot of details I won't go into on that. But it was an incredible game to be able to watch. It was fun, and the other games were not even remotely fun to watch. I only watched the second half of the Chiefs game.
Well, that was a dud, wasn't it?
And that was just it was. And the only reason I was intrigued was just the temperature. I was a little bit taken back, but not appalled. But when we turned it on at halftime, the place was half full. There had to be 20,000 empty seats in that place, and it was cold. I get that, but it looked like to me like there was about 20,000 empty seats, and it could have been, hey, we're up 16-7, we're probably going to win this thing. So I have no idea what it was like when the game started. I cannot account for that.
Yeah, it looked, respectable for the temperature at kickoff. It was not full. It could not be full at -5 degrees. It was just not humanly possible.
There was no tickets basically for sale. They were all for give.
Pretty much.
Yes.
I did not make my way to KC. I know that disappoints
us.
But you know what? The way that game went, I made a great decision. That would have been just terrible. Freeze my tail off and watch my team show up.
In a Bob Greasy jersey.
Yep.
Yes.
Bob Greasy. I could have found a Bob Greasy jersey. Yeah, I had friends text me in the morning say, I feel good about your chances. I said, you're out of your mind. You are crazy.
I did. I really did. I felt pretty good about it also. It wasn't as if the Chiefs have been playing lights out.
But the problem is, Bill, and you know this, is you've
the
coached
injuries
football for a long time. No, that's just that. You've got a guy in Patrick Mahomes that when the playoffs hit, he's got to switch. That he is a gamer in the playoffs. And Rashee Rice, rookie, was a stud in that game. The Dolphins had no answer for him. I think he had 130 yards receiving, a touchdown. And with all the injuries on defense, I mean, the Dolphins held them to field goals, which is great, but the offense was just absolutely horrible.
Something happened in that game that I've never seen happen before.
What was that?
I've seen face masks dented and broke, but when Mahomes' helmet just shattered, and when it happened, the first thing I said, I go, they've got to get him a new helmet on him. That's not safe. But I've never seen. Obviously, that was because of the cold, but it was just it crushed his helmet. And then also the next thing, awesome. The next thing came up that I'm not part of this, but because of the complications of that helmet with the speaker system inside of it, with the technology with it, you would think the one thing that would be done immediately, probably every Friday or every Saturday. Okay, try on your helmet. Try on helmet. There's probably 3 of them, I'm sure. Try on helmet 2. Try on helmet 3. Make sure they fit. When Mahomes, they gave him the helmet 2. It didn't fit. He couldn't get it on.
So tiny.
And I don't know whether it was on the heater also, because I was talking to, we were over at Housemender Layton's parents' house in Omaha. And they're like, Bill, what's the hardest thing about playing in this type of weather? And I said, well, what I can remember from a player, the most miserable thing was there was no heaters on your helmet. And when you had to put your helmet on when it was that cold, and I never played in that kind of cold.
Yeah.
But it's just, it hurt so bad. And Mahomes trying to put that helmet on when it didn't fit, it was unbelievable. But you think somewhere on the line, it's like, hey, try helmet 2 on, see if it fits. It wasn't even close.
Can I call a timeout?
It wasn't even close. So yeah, it was quite a situation. But it was, I enjoyed watching it from just seeing what, I mean, even the video, you couldn't see it very well because it was so cold. It was just like this. There was like waves, like heat waves on it from different things. But that was something to see.
Yeah, I don't think the Dolphins are too upset that their season's over after that weather. I mean, they did it to themselves. They imploded the last few weeks of the season, and their season's over. So typical Dolphins. Now the Dolphins, by the way, have the longest streak of no playoff wins because the Lions were at 32 years, which has now been snapped. The Dolphins are at since 2000.
How old were you, Jake?
I was 9 years old. Actually, I was not quite 9. I was 8, turning 9.
8 that year. And when do you remember the game?
I do.
You watched
the
it.
Miami Dolphins beat Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. I believe
it went
to in overtime.
In Miami.
Lamar Smith had 200 plus yards rushing. I was in my living room in a duplex in Beatrice. Had just moved there basically.
From where? The state of
Iowa.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
So that's
you're from Iowa.
I am from Iowa.
You were born where in Iowa?
I was actually born technically in Minnesota.
Were you?
But I lived in Iowa for 9 years.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So there you go. There's Idle
Breakers.
Chit-Chat.
Update us on your text to Steve Sipple in Hawaii.
Yeah, please let us know.
The 808 Honolulu. Please, again, multiple texts would also be very much appreciated this time. He told me, I called him Saturday just to see what was going on. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to Hawaii, which he's known about for several months.
I hinted in the text, hey, Sip, have you told Bill where you're going to be this week?
Nope. Still didn't tell me.
And he didn't call. You had to call him.
I had to call him.
He said, yeah, I'll get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Nope. Didn't happen.
Nope, didn't happen.
That's Idle Chit Chat, sponsored by our friends at Newton's Lawn Care. Call or text today at 402-440-6297 to get ahead for your 2024 fertilizing for your yard. Again, Newton's Lawn Care. Text 440-6297. All right, Bill, we had some news in college football this weekend.
Yes.
So Greg Byrne did say it's going to be a quick search for Alabama. Now, we had all the news of Sarkisian staying at Texas and hearing a couple other Norvell staying at Florida State. It turns out that Kalen DeBoer, the Washington head coach, is the new head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, which then Jedd Fisch, the Arizona coach, is now replacing DeBoer at Washington. There's your news. There's your update in the coaching world.
Very impressive hire. I think, and I know that on the air I'd said that it would happen very quickly, even happen faster than what I thought. It wasn't going to be. They have to try to get the right person very fast, hold everything together. So a couple things came up. A couple names that Steve is very excited about. One was Sarkisian,
Mm-hmm.
Steve Sarkisian.
Yep.
Other one was Dan Lanning.
Yep.
Okay, which is great. Do you know what Kalen DeBoer's record is against both of those?
No.
5-0.
5-0.
5-0. Every time he played Lanning, he beat him, and every time he played Sarkisian, he beat him. So is that like the end all? That means he's better with this? I'm not saying that, but it's still an interesting stat.
Yeah.
That when people are like, we needed to get so and so, it's like, well, hang on a second. They did play head to head, and this happened. So I think he fits him perfectly. Talk about a difficult job, but at the same time, exciting job. Just how coaches think, especially when you've had the success that he has. There's a reason for it. I mean, his first thought is like, can you withhold this? Like, absolutely, and do better. I mean, that's his mindset right now. It's not like, oh man, this is something you have no idea. Nope. It's an excited person about the situation that he has going. And again, they'll be very, very good.
He is a guy that we have mentioned has won everywhere he's gone. He's been successful everywhere he has gone, from NAIA Sioux Falls to Washington and everywhere in between. He has elevated the program, whether it's a head coach or a coordinator, everywhere.
He's 104-12.
That's
as a head coach.
104.
And I don't see his record really taking some huge dips at Alabama. I don't see him having a bunch of 4-8 years.
He took over a team at Washington that was 4-8 the previous year under Jimmy Lake.
Yeah.
They win 11 games his first year and 14 his second year, and lose in the title game to Michigan.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty damn good resume. Hey, I can turn it around like this quickly. And there's no turnaround at Alabama. They're a playoff team. He's inheriting a good team. They'll lose some guys to the portal. That's natural, losing in the all-time great Nick Saban. But he's also saying, hey, this is going to be a good program next year. We're going to be a playoff team. We have no reason to believe that Alabama should not be a playoff team again, especially now it's 12 teams.
Yeah. And listen to his interview. I just listened to parts of it. Just listen to him. He sounds incredible when he's talking. It is a confident, just ready for the opportunity, ready for the job. And also I think it's a brilliant move of hiring somebody that's been a head coach for a long time. You don't want to jump into that job at Alabama, or even which will be a tough one at Michigan if that opens up for Sharon Moore.
Yep.
Is that if you've never done it?
Yep.
And those jobs, that's a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. If Harbaugh does make the leap, we'll get to that 7:00 to the NFL, as people think he might. Sharon Moore, again, probably the favorite, but again, all he has is interim experience in the middle of the season. He's never been, hey, this is my program. I'm recruiting. I'm getting the coaching staff. It was just, this is what we have. Yeah. Make it work, which he did to a great job, going 6-0 in his time was the head coach this year. But Kalen DeBoer doesn't need, he's been there. He's done that. It's very different. So I was curious about your thoughts about Jedd Fisch going to Washington, that hire.
Well, at one point in time, I'd have to research that, but he was at the Seahawks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was at as an assistant coach. So I'm sure he knew a lot of people. Not saying that is intertwined, but I guarantee you, if you are a billionaire living in Seattle and you are a Seahawks fan, you're also a Huskies fan. So I'd imagine that the people somehow he knew people in Seattle for that setup. So that is a job that I know that he coveted.
Yep. And
I know that it was one of those jobs as things were being talked about. I'm sure he was already very active in the group of what was going on with that. And so that happened also extremely quickly, which is crazy also because just remember, I think Arizona's like preseason number 10.
Yep. Preseason, I think it's a 9th or 10th. Yeah.
9th or 10th team. With that, arguably right now, probably a better team than Washington, with the losses of the players of graduation and those that went left early to go to the draft. And then there'll be some that will go into the portal. So most likely Arizona may have been a stronger team this next year.
Well, and then you wonder again, same with DeBoer going to Bama, how many guys follow him on this team to Bama? How much room do they have for players? And Fafita, the quarterback at Arizona, will he stay there or will he follow Jedd Fisch to Washington? Because we'll see what happens with that quarterback. But that's a reason why they're number 10 preseason is because the quarterback play at Arizona.
Absolutely.
Will he stick around or not?
Absolutely. It'll be interesting. And also he's the quarterback there, Fafita, is very tied into, I can't say his name right now, the wide receiver is his best friend, who is the best wide receiver on the team also. So it'd be more so they would not go singular. No, they'd be a package deal. But who knows how that all happens. But that's a lot happening very quickly.
Yep.
And that's also, so someone has to take that job and but the reason is like, well, why do you leave Arizona? Why do you leave Tucson to go to Seattle like that? It's real simple. Big Ten.
Yep.
Big Ten. The difference between the Big Ten and the Big 12 is just, it's remarkable. Not saying there's not great team. Obviously, Texas was in the Big 12 and obviously had they had an unbelievable year. So it's not, but overall, the money is so significantly different that your advantages are much higher, even though Washington's going in at a lesser amount to begin with into the Big Ten, but they'll end up getting their full cut in a few years.
So again, Jedd Fisch to Washington. We'll see where Arizona goes for their coaching search. Kalen DeBoer to Alabama. And kudos to you on this one, Bill. You sent me in Sip in the group chat an idea that's been floating around social media regarding something that should be done at Alabama to honor Nick Saban. I love this idea. So, someone said to keep the office the way it is right now and just don't move anything and make it basically behind plexiglass, or just a chance for you to go get paid tours to see the office of the great Nick Saban.
Yeah, I would not want to move into that office. I wouldn't mind the expectations, but I'd be like, no, I would not want to.
I'll take that office.
I'll take the office right over here because you really don't care. Or they can build you a new office. It's not a problem in the complex. But that office should be kept as a museum, just as it is right there. Everything was there. And I've been lucky enough to be in that office a couple times to sit one-on-one with Nick Saban.
That's awesome. With
the door shut, just myself and Nick Saban talked several times. And that was fun. And it was and such an impressive person to talk to. It's just unreal. But the office is not elaborate. And you've probably seen pictures of it. You can see pictures of it. It's not some elaborate where it's just like, okay, this is a very nice office. Yes. But it was never like you were just like, whoa, wow. It was like a slide coming into it was just a very workman, type office is what it was. But anyway, I would push hard to keep that as is. That should be, I mean, right now, if someone just came there and just cleared the whole thing out and moved something, I'd be like, whoa.
What are you doing?
Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing here? So anyway, but I saw that and I'm like, I'm on board with this thing 100% to keep his office as
I think about this selfishly. If I were ever to visit Tuscaloosa for a game or just in general, if they turned that office into a museum, you're damn right I'd go see it. I'd say, I'm going to go see Saban's office. It'd be incredible. Yeah. That is a legitimate, not a joke. Don't take this as a joke, social media. That's real. Alabama, please consider that. Because you're right. Who wants to follow and go in that office after what he's done in his tenure here?
You don't want that.
Kalen DeBoer would not want that.
I would not want that. And it does. It would just be something that would be great forever to have. It really would be. It really would be. I wish there was something similar here to that. I wish that there was that Coach Osborne's the same. Now the office has changed up in the south end zone but Coach Osborne's office was, and then Mary Lynn's was his administrative assistant was right next to him. And you'd be shocked at just how small his original office was up there. It would be shocking to you. And then when they changed the office, they changed some of the things construction wise up there to make it nicer. It also was the same thing where it was okay at best type of thing. And the assistant coaches in the South End, like when I was in there as a GA and then as a full-time coach in the South End, you'd be shocked. It was just a room. You sat in a room, a couple pictures on the wall. That was it. And it was fine. No one thought anything of it. You didn't think one thing of it.
Wow.
Whatsoever.
Same thing applies for Duke. It's probably too late, but I don't know what they did with Coach K's office. Probably didn't do anything with that. Could have made that a museum. Iconic coaches. I want to see your office as it is when you were done. I want to see that.
I 100%.
So I don't. Make it happen, Bama. And this is something to consider. There's plenty of rooms for offices for DeBoer and his staff. And like we said, he probably doesn't want to take that spot anyways because of what he's following.
Yes. One thing out there also for the Breakers, there's going to be colossal fender benders today. They will be in the hundreds because a lot of the intersections are not graveled up yet.
No.
And what started happening yesterday was what you saw was Friday night or whatever things were going on. All right. People were like, there was no one out. If you had to be like in a truck, a 4-wheel drive, whatever, it was like they knew. Now everyone's kind of like, all right, cleared up. I'm good to go. Yeah. And there's going to be cars. There's cars sliding all over the place.
It is an ice rink.
It is an ice rink, and it's going to be something that goes down like that. Because there's going to be cars that are going, I'm good to go, and then there's ice patches everywhere. There's going to be a ridiculous amount of fender benders. There's going to be people going to turn, and their car won't turn That's going to slide right into someone's
We'll probably
door.
see some right here in front of us.
We have a chance.
Yeah.
We have a chance.
We'll report that.
O Street might be a little bit better with how it was. There's going to be a colossal amount of fender benders today. Josh
this morning when he came in said, I didn't realize that Lincoln didn't salt the roads ever. I said, well, they do.
They do. They just haven't. They just haven't. There was, but when we were in Omaha on Saturday, it was right at dusk, but there was cars stuck everywhere at parking lights. They'd have to stop and just spinning. They couldn't get going. And it was just like, I'm looking at them going like, I don't think they're heart surgeons trying to get to on call. That they're trying to get to the hospital. They probably don't have to be out. Really don't have to.
No.
But they are, and they've got traffic all jacked up all over the place.
I think I left my house one time this weekend, which that's not me. You know, weekends are here. I go do stuff. I get out. I have fun. I mean, Saturday, I left it to go. Elizabeth, my wife's car, I tried to get it running. It was dead because it hadn't been run for a week. So I started up. I drove it for like 10 minutes to get it warmed up. And that was it.
That's it.
Yesterday, I went outside to take the trash out or put stuff in the trash. I didn't drive anywhere yesterday. I didn't leave my house from morning to sunset. Did not leave.
Didn't leave my house.
Did not leave at all except to go to the garage twice, and that was it.
I'm good with that.
So try to get out today a little bit. But
tell us if anyone has texted Sipple more than 6 times, please text us and let us know.
Heard from Ron has texted Sip so far. Not your dad, I don't think.
Yeah,
but
probably not. Yeah.
Joe in Boulder has texted Sip. Looks like Joel in Wisconsin has maybe texted Sip. So far, no response yet, of course.
Yes. Send several. Be kind of nice to know when the first response comes back. When we get the first response. Because
he'll
probably be waking up fairly soon because your clock is still on Nebraska clock.
Imagine him waking up at 2 a.m. I have time to get up for the day.
Yeah.
That just sucks.
Anytime you vacation Hawaii, which I've been over there with mine was for work.
Yep.
It was just remarkable how you're really you're like at 8 o'clock things are shut down because you're on this other clock and then everyone's wide awake. You go downstairs to the lobby like at 5 a.m. Place is packed. Everybody's on different times.
As you know, we were there last year because I took the flight from Miami to Hawaii. That was a great trip. Yeah, great from Omaha to Miami to Denver to Hawaii.
Quick one, easy.
I don't think that we were awake any of the 7 days after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
9 p.m. Like we were dead, done, sleep. And it was like the whole resort was just quiet, like you said, because people they're not used to it. The resorts,
things are rolled up like in Hawaii, 8 o'clock. Things are done.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. So good luck. And then also remember, get that 25% off. You mentioned the ticket with on 3 subscriptions.
That's right
now to cover the Polynesian Bowl. So there'll be a lot of great news coming out of there. So text Sip and just see what article he's going to open up with today on the Polynesian Bowl.
Someone else just sent a text, no response yet from Sip.
Please keep hounding. Stay with it. Send one every 4 minutes.
And OG Les, before we get to break, says this Home Depot / skid loader incident yesterday and no Sip today. Coincidence
or not?
No. He's in Hawaii. Yeah, he's in Hawaii.
I'm just going to tell you right now, if that would have been Sip, that would have been incredible. That would have been great radio this morning. That would have been great radio to see what happened.
Was that you yesterday? What happened? Yeah. What got into you?
Oh.
I got a little crazy.
Thank you, Breakers.
Thank you, Breakers. You can always call or text us at 402-464-5685. We'll be back with more next in Early Break in the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over. Why not resolve to eat better, tastier foods in 2024? Look no further than Fuhrer's cheese spread. Stop eating your apples, vegetables, crackers, and chips plain. Give them some flavor. Fuhrer's cheese spread awakens your taste buds. Now that's how you start a new year. Find your container of Fuhrer's cheese spread today at your local grocery store.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Facing criminal charges is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we believe in treating every person with respect, compassion, and understanding. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. To learn more, call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, Southwest Iowa, and northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying, let's sit around the table, let's drop some plans, let's put numbers together, let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Bagels & Joe is celebrating 31 years of business this year. With 4 Lincoln locations and 1 in Seward, there's more options for your favorite breakfast spot in town. And don't forget the Joe card for unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per person per month. Bagels & Joe, celebrating 31 years of serving Lincoln and the surrounding areas.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, chance of snow expected this morning, otherwise mainly cloudy, breezy and cold. See a high of just 1. Tonight, mainly clear and very cold. We'll see an overnight low around -12. And tomorrow, more sunshine on the way. It'll be cold, though. See a high of around 10. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Husker fans, your Nebraska wrestling team needs you at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for a Big Ten matchup on Sunday, January 21st against the Purdue Boilermakers. The duel will begin at 1 p.m., and the first 200 fans will receive a Nebraska wrestling blanket. For more information or to secure your tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you are just tuning in, again, Sip out all week. He is in Hawaii. He's asleep right now.
The 808.
Probably. If you have his phone number from when he gave it away on the airwaves, please text him. Tell him that you missed him. Tell him what's going on here. Ask how Hawaii is. Just, he'll respond to you, I'm sure. He'll get back to you. Brett in Minnesota says he texted him during the break.
Yeah,
Brett's
nice.
in Minnesota.
Thank you, Brett.
think the same Brett that got us the gear on Friday.
Oh, that
you're wearing the hat right
now.
now.
The hat right now.
At the hat.
It's one of my favorite hats. Yep. I've got a lot of great hats. It's one of my new favorite ones. Thank you.
Text from East Lincoln West before I move on says, have we hit Bill's anniversary of joining the show yet? Was that the last week of January you joined in?
What's that? I have no idea.
I believe you came in the last week of January last year.
Because I believe I was around for the Super Bowl, I think. I
Yep.
don't know what that
Yeah,
date
you were here
was.
for sure.
First day, I don't know when that was. That would be something I'd like to know that.
We need to know the day that Bill's first day as a guest. And then, he's been here ever since. Now he's a co-host.
Yeah.
He's with us.
I'm
Yes, you are.
Well, we got January 23rd.
Okay, so we're just shy of a week away from that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
West.
Yeah, and Josh gave me
Josh get the details for us like that. Thank you very much. I'm excited for that day.
We'll celebrate.
Let's have a celebration.
We will
on that
celebrate
day.
on the 23rd. I assume we'll have a show. I think that would not be a weekend. Yeah. Okay. Monday? It's a Monday? No, it's a. Okay. Whatever. We'll be here. 464-5685. Call or text as always. I have a question for you. We mentioned the Dolphins lost in KC 26-7. They didn't show up at all for the game. It was never a game ever. I mean, it was 10-7. Too good to be true. That was never gonna hold up. So who was worse this weekend? The Dolphins or Nebraska ball against Iowa? Because let's go back to Tuesday, Bill. Nebraska upsets Purdue 88.
Number 1.
72. We stormed the court. It was awesome. It was
5
great.
seed.
Yeah, Nebraska was up from out of the dance to a 5 seed in Billetology.
Yes.
And then they go to Iowa. And again, I'm not surprised they lost this game because it's hard to come back after a game like that. But that was a dead arena. Because of the storm, there was nobody in the stands.
Probably 500 people.
At the most. Nebraska goes to Iowa, was down 17-2 at the beginning. Take the lead by 1 in the second half. They came all the way back.
They did get the lead.
They led by 1. They led by 1 in the second half, and it was 51-50, and then it fell apart. Iowa wins 94-76. Here's the key stat in this game. There's a couple things, but Iowa 15 for 35 on threes. Nebraska 4 for 26. You and I were at the Creighton game in Lincoln back in early December, and it was a similar thing. Creighton made like 13, 14 threes. Nebraska made 2 in their own building. You're not going to win many games when it's 15-4 on 3-pointers made. And that's what happened in Iowa City.
It seemed to me like the matchup was a tough one. When I say that, I mean, obviously Iowa's been struggling. They were 1-3, I think, in the Big Ten.
Correct.
But they play a very fast-paced, flowing game. And if things are clicking, I would just imagine that I believe they had been 3 or 4 times over 100 points.
Yep.
And so they're up and down the court. And things are going. If things aren't going well, that's I'm sure why they are where they are. Or also, it's like, no, that's a bad day. It was just clank. It wasn't clanks against Nebraska.
No,
it was, and so it was a very fast-paced, free-flowing game. And also, at that, I was a little shocked by just seeing what Iowa's record was by watching them. So I was fairly impressed with what they looked like up and down the court. I'm like, that's a pretty impressive-looking team. I only saw the second half.
They are the highest scoring team in the conference. They can put a lot of points up. Their defense is the sketchy part. They give up a ton of points. Now, if you make 4 26 on threes, you're going to win the game against Nebraska because they just weren't making shots. But again, Iowa's going to be a team that they'll be respectable. Their record was not
a respectable year, and they will beat a couple teams. They'll be like, whoa, how did that happen? There'll be a couple of those.
Score. They can fill up the bucket there.
Yeah.
But Nebraska, again, I want to try to calm people down and say, oh, here we go. This is a fake team. That's not a fake team. If Nebraska loses at Rutgers on Wednesday, you can, I'm still not panicking, but that's cause for concern. Rutgers got absolutely drilled at a very, I would say this year, average Michigan State team this weekend by like 15, 16 points yesterday. Steven Izzo, Tom's son, got his first bucket of his career. They put him in at the very end of the game, and he got a bucket. That's how bad it got for Rutgers. They had Izzo, who never, ever plays, got in the game, got a bucket.
Rutgers is really struggling.
They're bad right now.
They won by 2 against Stonehill.
Won by 1 against
Stonehill.
A team that's like 2-16
Not
right
Stony
now.
Brook. Stonehill.
Not Stony Brook. We got to write Stonehill. So Nebraska again on Wednesday on the road at Piscataway. I'm not going to say must-win game, but it's a game that you really don't want to lose.
No. I said it on air. I said this Iowa game would be one that would be so critical for them. Because if you got these 2 games, it would have just catapulted you into such a great spot. Now but every game it's like that. Just think about it. No one really thought Purdue was gonna lose to Nebraska, and they lost to them by how many?
16.
16. They lost to them by 16. The number one team in the country. Things do happen. We'll say that the things do happen with it. This next game is imperative to get a win. It's not a must win, but it's close to it.
For those who are saying, okay, what happened to Purdue? Did they lay an egg? No, Purdue crushed Penn State on Saturday in West Lafayette. So they bounced back as a good team would do.
Yes. And Penn State's not playing bad. They're not a bad team.
Bill, I watched about 15 minutes of Purdue Penn State because I just wasn't able to.
Because you were home.
You
didn't leave the house.
Because it was negative 45 degrees. I didn't want to go anywhere. I caught a little bit. And I'm watching Zach Edey. I don't get how you stop that guy. Nebraska held him to 15 points and 7 rebounds. Every time he's down the court, he's wide open for a dunk. Against, and Penn State was trying their damnedest.
They knew who Edey was. They were aware. It wasn't like, who's this guy?
Who's this 7'5" giant out here?
They were aware when they tipped the ball off. They were aware.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to stop him if you have nobody over 6'11" or obviously 7-footer. I just don't get how you can stop the guy. He's very skilled. He's also, again, he's not clumsy out there. He runs the ball pretty well. Like you see some guys that are 7'5", 7'6" that they put up points, but they look a little klutzy. They look clumsy. I don't see that from Zach Edey.
No, he's impressive. He plays really hard also.
Yep.
The reason I missed the first half was because I was at the Nebraska-Iowa wrestling match duel.
And how'd that go, Bill?
Well, it didn't go as well as they hoped. A couple things flipped, especially when score was 6-6, and we lost a tough one that we were leading that would have put us up 9-6, which would have carried it kind of all the way through. There's a couple tough matches in there. But like I said, it was really cool. They had an elevated mat for this competition, and so we were in the front row. So it was like literally right there. But had a situation where the guy next to us got us everyone tossed out because you can't pound on the mat or on the deal. You can't pound on that, and he was pounding on it and yelling at the referee, and they stopped the match. Just the fan. Sitting right, no, he's one person away from us. They stopped the match, and the referee grabbed the mic and basically pointed over and it's like, you cannot pound the mats. I kind of was doing one of these, like over here. It wasn't me. It was this guy over here. Right next to us.
Mr. Busch, would you please stop pounding the mat? So, have some respect.
Respect here. So, but it was great to be at the event. I appreciate Coach Manning able to get me into the event. So that was a lot of fun. Went with Lawrence Wyatt, the leading tackler in the history of Norfolk High football.
It was a loss, but how was the environment and the crowd there?
It was good. There's no doubt that the weather knocked off some attendance. There's no doubt about that. That it would have been a little more juice to it, but it was still really good because the fans are really close. Even though you're sitting, there wasn't someone going like, I'm not sure what's going on. I have a good seat, but when you're right there, there was also like 2 or 3 times and you thought they were coming like in your lap. It was like also they come off the mat a little bit. Type of thing like that, and then obviously Nash had a tough loss late. It was 1-1, and they gave up a takedown late. But that's wrestling against Iowa.
Yep,
he was just playing football against Iowa.
Yep,
the other guys they weren't playing football against Nebraska. So it's pretty remarkable. So I really enjoyed being a part of that. So it was a fun day to be able to get to, and it was like I said, it was miserable. It was
the weather.
It was 30 below zero. We just gotten 14 inches of snow.
Yep. So Friday, rough day for Nebraska against Iowa. Wrestling a loss, and then basketball a loss on the road. So, next time, Nebraska. I don't think Nebraska plays them at home in basketball this year.
They don't play. They don't double.
I'm pretty sure they do. I'll check again. I remember seeing the schedule that I thought that they did not play
Josh
both home and away with them, just away. So that stinks to not have Iowa coming here to town.
Here, absolutely.
Smoked them last year. Actually, swept them last year in basketball. But again, kudos. By the way, this is going to surprise you. I didn't tell you guys this. Your sip. I was out on Friday night.
Where'd you go Friday night? Yeah, we're unaware of this.
No, I didn't tell you where.
This is not safe travels.
Neither of you know until right now. I was at the WWE event at Pinnacle Bank
You never
Arena.
told.
I did not tell you guys.
So yeah, how was that?
It was fun. It was.
I think it'd be very interesting.
It was interesting.
Was the crowd kind of decimated though because of the weather?
I think a little bit. I thought it was actually a pretty good crowd though. I thought the crowd was respectable for what I thought.
Good.
I didn't know what was going to be there. I had never been to WWE before. It was something where we had 4 front row tickets. I was asked to go. I would not normally go to an event like that, but I went. My wife was out of town.
Front row would be incredible. I'd love it. Cool. Yeah, it'd be very cool.
It was me and Eric Strickland.
Nice.
We're there, and Bach and DP were in the building. So, yeah, we saw Marcus Satterfield there.
That would have been awesome.
He was at the game. Not the game. The game. Wow.
Yeah, wow. Another one. There we go.
He was at WWE. But it was unique. I'll go with that. Different experience. I would say it's more fun to watch on TV than in person.
Really? I thought it'd be just the opposite.
No, I think this is why. I think they can do something with the sound effects on TV. And I think the broadcasters add a lot to the WWE. You couldn't hear broadcasters at all. It was just the action.
Yeah,
there's no commentary.
I can see that.
I mean, you had the guy that was announcing. The PA guy announced the fighters coming in, the wrestlers coming in, but not like you couldn't actually during the actual fighting.
I am amazed by the athleticism of things that they do in the ring. Did he even come off the third rope? Did we ever get that?
Oh yeah.
So that's no longer illegal?
No, it's not illegal.
So the third rope is
several times off the third rope. Off the top rope.
Yeah.
It was
okay.
If you thought you saw,
glad you went.
If you thought you saw me and said there's no way that's Jake Sorensen, yeah, I was there. I was at WWE.
I would have went. I would have went to it if I wouldn't have had the other opportunities. So I'll tell you this thing: the ticket was out supporting. What we were doing.
We were out and about. Yeah. The weather sucked. It
Blizzard,
was cold.
Didn't matter.
I parked in our garage and walked 4 blocks to the Haymarket, and it was horrible, but I got there, made it back safely. It was all good. So WWE for me and wrestling for Bill on Friday night. When we come back, Bill's Thrills and Song of the Day on Early Break on the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Bagels & Joe is celebrating 31 years of business this year. With 4 Lincoln locations and 1 in Seward, there's more options for your favorite breakfast spot in town. And don't forget the Joe card for unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per person per month. Bagels & Joe, celebrating 31 years of serving Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you know who to call when a plumbing issue arises. From frozen pipes to clogged drains, we can help you protect your home this winter. Give
John Henry's
a call today to schedule at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Hello, everybody. It's Charlie Stone, and here with me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I hear that new Honda manufacturing continues to go up, and you have new Hondas in stock now.
That's correct, Charlie. We have more than 40 new Hondas in stock right now. It's great that a customer can come in and buy a new Honda and drive it home that day. New Honda inventory keeps getting better each month.
Okay, then. How about used cars, Andy?
We have more than 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from right now, and a lot of fresh trade-ins are coming in daily. We have just about every maker model you can imagine in any price range.
Thanks again, Andy. People love the selection and great service at Honda of Lincoln. Maybe It's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures. All things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're a big tough? If you're a big tough guy this morning,
but you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
He stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Once again, your song of the day from 1969, Galveston by the great Glenn Campbell. 464-56851 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers song of the day. Like that, don't you?
I do. I really do. I
put you in a good place.
I kind of blanked out there. Mr. Sipple going first, but he's not here. He's in Hawaii. Glenn Campbell, huge fan. Not one of my favorite Glenn Campbell songs, but a great Glenn Campbell song. But I said, and it has to be in the Country Music Hall of Fame. I guarantee you
hope
that.
So. Rick Heyman, can you help us out?
Help us with that. So I'm going to give it a 7224. 7224. Originality probably a 9.5. Come with Glenn Campbell, Galveston. Incredible job. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it, Jake. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
What made you go with that? Just a random song you heard, or was there usually you have something that stirs you?
This one was pretty random. I like Glenn Campbell. I like several, Wichita linemen, and I like Rhinestone Cowboy, of course, is a legendary song.
Rhinestone Cowboy, probably my favorite. Maybe, I don't know.
But I have played those songs before. I don't think I've played Galveston ever before. Let's play a little Galveston today. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, you hear this. Yeah, I'm big on it. I'm big on Glenn Campbell, anything. So, I'm very excited about it.
Okay, we got to get Josh's rating. You want to guess Josh's rating there, Bill?
Josh is going to go with a 6.8. I'm
going to go with a 7.1. 5.4. Josh, a little low. 2005 Country Music Hall of Fame inductee. Thank you, Josh.
Absolutely.
He's doing research today over there. He's working hard.
Thank you, Josh.
Working hard. Some ratings on the text line before we get to Bill's Thrills. Okay, we got Notorious B.I.B. 3.1. We got Ron. That's Rod. Rod, a 9. Scott from Bancroft says 10 plus.
Nice. I'm with you. I love him. I love Glenn.
Goosebumps, Jake.
Yes.
Well done, my friend. Jennifer, 8. Hubby, 6.5 from Novotny Nutrition and Wellness out on Capitol Beach right now, probably. Freezing out there.
They can walk right across the lake. I'll tell you that. They'll be safe.
Josh told me he's going to go skate today.
Are you going to skate today?
On the pond.
Where at? Down at, are you going down to the Haymarket?
Yeah, I think this is Oak Lake area, I think, or something like that. Yeah, probably in that area. Okay. Nate in Dorchester, 7.3. Who in Columbus?
Bert!
4.8 from Bird in Columbus. Harper and Henley's dad, a 5. Crawford, a 7. Eric in Omaha, 5.6. John in Lincoln says that's a 8.1. Nyla says, that's a 4.
Nyla.
She's a tough grader.
Yeah. Nyla's been very tough on you.
She has. I like Chubby Rhino, 6.8. Great name, by the way. Chubby Rhino. Bolt, 3.
Bolt. That's from Pender. I'm down on that.
Low on that
really
one,
down on that. Tell you one thing, your parents' Bolt wouldn't have gave it a 3. I know that.
How about this?
Marge would not have gave that a 3.
Marge would never.
No.
Mike and Dalton at 8. We'll end this one before we get to Bill's Thrills. Ron says 1, and he follows up saying country music is depressing.
That's not true. It's not true. It's incredible.
Get that take.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
There's some sad songs.
There's some sad songs.
Yeah, there are.
That's not a really uplifting. Galveston doesn't really get you. It's not walk-up music. It's not like some of the songs we've had on here before. It's not Travis Tritt.
No. By the way, I have a buddy of mine lives in Dallas, Texas. Okay. And he was telling me this morning before he listened to us, he was listening to some Dallas sports radio.
How was that?
He said they opened up the show playing Johnny Cash's Hurt for the song of the day. That was their opening was Hurt by Johnny Cash. Yep. That's how things are going in Dallas for their absolutely.
Jerry Jones used the word floored.
They were down 27-0 at home to Jordan Love making his first ever playoff appearance. Looked like he was Brett Favre out there, Aaron Rodgers out there. But they lose 48-32. We'll get to that later on. Before we do the Bill's Thrills, hang on one second.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Let's get to Bill's Thrills on a Monday. Here we go.
Some call him the most interesting man in the world.
That is setting up the morel mushroom bonanza.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be bonanza.
Mushrooms grow better with thunder and lightning.
Others call him Coach. But to everyone else, he's Bill.
I want to get one of those military ab stimulators for us to wear during the show. Have you seen? I sent it to you today.
It's time for Bill's Thrills on Early Break. Sponsored by Dirk, Scott, and Ty at Mid-Plains Advisors.
Yes, as always, Bill's Thrills is sponsored by Dirk, Scott, and Ty at Mid-Plains Advisors, the ATMs, the cash cows of Lincoln. Free consultation. Just call them up. Be with them. 402-730-7387. They want to make you money.
Yes. When you get a hold of them, send us a selfie.
Please.
We'd like to get a picture with those guys. You guys getting together where the breakers are getting together with them. And you're going to leave amazed. You will leave absolutely amazed when you talk to this. Doesn't matter if you're in the red zone when you're older like me and Sip, or you're in the Jake zone when you're just getting started. Also like that, if there's any listeners in there like their mid-20s like that, it's just shocking. If you put away $100 when you get to retirement age, that's like putting away $10,000. That's what it'll make for you. $100 turns into $10,000 by investing it the right way. Think about it, people. Think about it.
Mid-Plains Advisors. They're at 27th and Old Cheney in Lincoln. Check them out. Dirk, Scott, and Ty. Great people.
Yeah. You'll have to get a hold of them because they're out with the people a lot, too.
They are.
They're out in the community a lot. They're doing a lot of things for us. So incredible people. Just want to talk about NFL, which is not my deal.
Wow, this is
NFL
makes me
which
smile.
is not really my deal, but I'm just telling you, yesterday that Rams-Lions game was incredible. First of all, there was incredible coaching going on by both sides of the ball. Also, I'd like to ask a question to the medical world, because I don't know this. I just assume this. If you get knocked out for just briefly or whatever, get knocked out, are you concussed? Is that simultaneous? Are you automatic? Because it appeared to me that Stafford got knocked out on the one play. You watch his eyes go back in his head. They showed that picture of him on the ground and how his hand was. It appeared as if he got knocked unconscious and all of a sudden, like, came back. I mean, there was dude play all over that place, and especially by Stafford. Wow, did he play good. But there were some things going on in the coaching world. If I'd have been on the Detroit defensive side, the difficulty was much harder than on the other side, even though Goff played tremendous.
He did.
Tremendous. The things that they were doing offensively. So if you noticed, almost, I'm going to say 90% of the plays had double motion by the Rams. They would set, they would motion, stop, and then send someone else in motion or reverse motion back. There was so much going on. And why they do that is a couple things were there's clues. So when all of a sudden the motions start and they bump, now we're in zone coverage. If the motion starts and they spin or they run, they know they have man coverage. It tells the quarterback where he's going to go with the ball immediately in the throw game. This is what I'm looking for. This is what's going to happen in that spot. So what they were doing with playing a lot of man coverage and scenarios that happen, they got caught spinning. And there's not a great answer for that, which means is, so when they would run across, they would spin the safety or whoever that person was down, and the corner or the star nickel would go back into the post, into the MOF, the middle of the field player. Well, that would also create matchups where you would get your better player on a lesser coverage guy. And they would do it back and forth. You'd see some zipper motion back and forth and all the way across. And you saw times where they had the matchups. It was brilliant coaching by them. I thought that some of the throws that were made by the Rams were just incredible. With a hand cut open, and he was knocked out. At one point in time, was knocked out in the game. But it was very interesting. And also, if you watch the Rams, which were different than the Lions, everyone has the same things. It was a constricted formation day. If you watch, a lot of times, all 11 guys were lined up really tight. Everyone was tight. So I used to always use the term constrict to expand. So when you expand out and then stick things back up in vertical, it's hard to defend. So they did a brilliant job with that. Quick story with Puka, who had 189 yards.
181.
180,
which is incredible.
181 with and the last play that he got denied, there was a hold. And I was pulling for Detroit, but he really did get grabbed on that. But so give you a story on him. So I'm recruiting Apu Ika, who ended up being a starting nose guard for us as a true freshman. He's from Salt Lake City, and he was originally from Tonga, and I'm recruiting him to LSU. So we get him to come to LSU. But when I'm out there, I have some bonus time, and I've got Ed Ogeron, who doesn't we didn't base out of Utah when we were at LSU. So we had some bonus time. I said, listen, I go, how about if we buzz over to Orem, Utah real quick in between this home visit and the school visit with Apu. And so we go to Orem to see Puka practice basketball. I said, they got a receiver here. I said, I think is really, really good. And so we watched him play, did this. We didn't have any numbers left, but the player we were looking at that time was Puka.
Wow.
Wow. And so it was in Orem, Utah. We watched him practice basketball. And me and Coach Ogeron, he agreed that, looked like a fab star. So he went to Washington, and I don't know if he did much there at all. Transferred back to BYU, 5th-round draft pick, most yards ever by a rookie. And in the big moment, had 181 yards, and he looked like a grown man out there. I mean, you hardly even notice Kupp anymore.
No, I mean, Cooper Kupp's obviously still important.
Still important, but it was incredible. So it was very cool to see that happen. Also, there's some little plays you looked at in that game. They did a great job of designing a play to get Cooper Kupp in the backfield, and they sent him on a wheel route down the sideline in the red zone, and they threw basically kind of a fade ball to him, which was a little shocking. So if they'd have thrown like a fade stop where he breaks it out, because the safety was running with him, and he's running so hard to get upfield with him, if he just stops like at the goal line, it's an easy catch and touchdown. I thought was very, very interesting with it. That was good. But again, I thought this was so interesting because also with this whole game was that Goff had talked about, he was completely ghosted by the Rams from the time the season ended for several months until he was traded. No one talked to him. The head coach didn't talk to him. The Rams didn't talk to him. They just let him know real quick. They called him up. You've been traded to Detroit. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And he's recovered, done a great job. And then Stafford went there and won a Super Bowl. That's hard. And that's not Stafford's fault, anyone's fault. But I thought it was just really interesting of how that played out. So in the end, I was very happy for Goff to win that game of how it played out. But I also came away just impressed with the coaching staffs on both sides where it was so intense. The strain was so intense. I'm a little shocked Detroit won because the Rams were just doing so many moving parts. If I was defending the Rams, it'd be like, and they also ran the ball.
They did.
Yeah, they ran the ball well. If I was defending them, I would be just like, oh, wow. To hold them to 23, a minor miracle. A minor miracle.
Kyron Williams got hurt late in that game for the Rams. So he didn't
about
go
8
back.
minutes to go.
So they put, and then Rivers was doing okay as the backup running back. But there was a key play, Bill, in this one. You mentioned this, but the Rams were in Lions territory, and it was 3rd and 4 or 3rd and something. They got it to about 4th and 3, but there's a penalty. And people said, should they decline the penalty because it's 4th down or accept to go 3rd and 14? But yeah, they don't. So
they take the penalty. It worked out for them.
It worked out.
Because then it was going to be, okay, do we kick a 60-yard field goal with Brett Maher, or do we punt it? Which, and I don't think the punt's a bad move. People because they were good enough and didn't give them the ball back. They just didn't give it back. They only had one timeout. But when it went to the 4th and 3 or 4th and 4, they were either going to kick the field goal or they're going to go for it on 4th and 3 and 4th and 4. And at this time, stopping them was almost impossible. It really was like nearly impossible with the weapons they had. It was incredible. One other thing that I'd like to see fixed.
Okay.
That I'd like to see fixed because you can't tell me 1969 what happened, Jake.
We went to the moon.
Landed and walked on the moon. That was hard. That was really hard. That was whatever 50 some years ago, right? Can we not find a way that everyone has a mic on that's going to ask a question in the post-game press conference? That they get the coach up there, whoever up there, and it's like, we have any questions? And it just goes silent while the person's standing there, and he sits there and listens, and he answers the question. You can't tell me in today's world that we can't get a microphone so you know what the question is. That's impossible to have that happen. And so it's like you'd like to have the question. There's only going to be, 4 or 5 questions asked, and they're not going to ask, like, all of a sudden it's not going to be, yes, this is Bill Busch from the Ticket. You're not getting a question. It's going to be the 2 or 3 people of the Detroit whatever paper, whatever. So I wish they'd find a way to do that.
They do a Super Bowl. They will have a microphone on on the people asking questions, but up until then, I don't know if they will.
I didn't hear like I said. You'll hear like when they do Jerry Jones one-on-one, which also is one of the more incredible stories. That the only owner who every game has his own press conference is Jerry Jones. After the game, what did everybody say? What are you guys waiting for? Waiting to talk to Jerry.
This is the owner.
You did not see the Rams owner talk to anybody after the game, or the Detroit owner.
You didn't see Stan Kroenke. You didn't see anybody.
No one's talking to him. But it was such an incredible job of coaching. Then the little tells of what they were doing with those double motions and what that meant to figure things out where they want to go with the ball. Because once it went to zone, oh man, did he find some sit down spots and some things to do. And obviously at the very end there wasn't a lot of pressure, but the very end of the game, Hutchinson showed up.
He did.
He really showed up at the end of the game. He forced that holding, which got him into that predicament to which they were in, to be able to win that. But that would have been a devastating loss to that town. I mean, devastating loss.
Eminem is there. We got Calvin Johnson. Barry Sanders is there. This means everything. We went 12-5 this year. We had a home game in the playoffs.
And they get another home game.
They do.
I mean, that ticket, talk about a place that is juiced up and ready to go.
They will play the winner of Bucks Eagles tonight. That's the game tonight. Whoever wins the game is for sure going to Detroit for next week because Dallas lost.
Yes. And I do love that. I love how things get reseeded. I always thought that NCAA basketball tournament should do that. Final Four should always get reseeded.
Okay. All right.
Should always get reseeded.
By the way, Dallas Trav, regarding your question about concussions, says yes, there are 3 grades of concussions, with the worst being one you will lose consciousness. He is an ortho rehab specialist and with a clinical neurology certification.
Okay, so let's go back then. So you can or can't be knocked out without a concussion. What was the answer to that?
Yes.
So
you
can be knocked out with no concussion.
Yes.
I see it. I saw it happen. We were playing Washington with Browning. Jake Browning's the quarterback. I'm at Rutgers. Score 0-0. We ended up losing, I think, by 2 touchdowns. But this is when their playoff year. And we're playing our tails off. And we hit him on a blitz. And we knock him unconscious. You could just tell the same thing happened. Is even worse. And I'm like, they showed the replay. I'm in the booth. I go, he's done. He's done. He got up, came back in the next play. The next series, like nothing ever happened. I was like, how can that be? He was knocked out. But I wonder, another question for him, for Dallas. What was his last?
Dallas Trav.
Dallas, tell us this. It looked to me like it was scary when they showed him, like his eyes rolled back. Looked like his eyes rolled back in his head. And so, what was happening at that time? I just love to know from someone that has this knowledge exactly what it was, because he didn't seem concussed when he came back. He
was slinging it still.
He didn't seem like he was concussed, but it was like, it looked like he was knocked out and came to, and he was like, "Oh, here we go." And his hand was cut open.
Yeah,
a real cut on it,
right in the helmet. Yeah.
Right in the helmet deal.
That was rough.
What an incredible game, and a lot of there's so many minute parts to a game. It's just incredible.
That is Bill's Thrills, sponsored by Dirk, Scott, and Ty at Mid Plains Advisors. Top of the hour next, an early break in the ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at MidwestBank.com. Member FDIC.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, southwest Iowa, and northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC. We'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Copple. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Copple. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at copplecars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice-integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Wake up, Lincoln.
I overslept. Damn rooster didn't crow.
It's time for Early Break, sponsored by Midwest Bank. Live from Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
I'm wrong, but I'm not.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
If I were a feral cat.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Busch.
You get one team. Mine's the Houston Oilers.
So-
I'm not the Texans, and I'm not the Titans. So I'm out.
This is Early Break.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Monday. Again, Steve Sipple out in Hawaii all week. Jake
Hawaii.
Sorensen, yeah,
He just happened to be in Hawaii.
on the
It's been
coldest
planned
week
for
of the
2
year.
months. I found out, and I had to squeeze it out of him no more than 6 hours before I got on his flight. This is someone that this is part of the three-legged stool.
I teased it on the text line, hey, saying, Sip, you might want to let Bill know. I don't need to tell Bill. You can tell him straight up where he's at.
Didn't tell me.
Didn't tell you at
If
all.
I had to ask him, is there something going on? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to Hawaii to cover the Polynesian Bowl. Should be some live reports. There should be live reports. So that's going to be, I'm telling you what, on 3, get that 25% discount.
Yep, they'll accept that.
Yes.
They'll accept that. He's Bill Busch. I'm Jake Sorensen. Sip out today. Again, Hour 2, sponsored by our friends at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC. Location in Lincoln at 27th and Jamie Lane. New location coming by the end of February to 70th and Pioneers, that southeast corner there. And Steve Schindler's here with us in studio. The cutout is, what has he got going on today?
Nothing.
Bill? Nothing.
Bank's closed.
Oh.
Martin Luther King Day. Bank's closed.
Smart
but the
man.
Schindlers are out in, they're in Oregon with their middle child. Nick Schindler and Mindy have had a baby, their first, Sophia. And so that's where they're at right now. They're in Oregon.
Nice.
Celebrating that. I also heard there was someone that texted in from Dorchester. I wonder if the person from Dorchester who texted in earlier is aware of Bo and Bailey Schindler that live in Dorchester, because that's Shin Daddy's son, lives in Dorchester.
That'd be Nate in Dorchester.
Nate in Dorchester.
Mm-hmm.
Nate, if you know the Schindlers, that would be Bo and Bailey. Bailey's the kindergarten teacher there in town there, and so. But that is Shin Daddy's youngest son. He teaches mathematics in Crete, Nebraska.
In Crete, okay.
In Crete, yes, he's a Crete, Nebraska mathematics. But so Shin Daddy, they're traveling. They're in Oregon. Yep, they're doing great out there with the baby. So it's nice to get a day off. He needed some of that, but everything's rolling at the bank really well. And he just want to let everybody know that if you put money in the bank today or whenever you put it in, your money's safe for him because he invented FDIC.
Yeah. If there's a guy that deserves a break, it's Shin Daddy.
He does. He does. And today, everything's closed down. Banks are closed down.
Absolutely.
Post office, everything's closed down, as should be. And we are lucky enough to be here on this day for the great celebration of this day. So, like I said, Shin Daddy's shut down, but keep them in your thoughts and prayers as they travel back safe. I believe tomorrow is the travel day.
Okay.
If I'm correct.
Coming back from Oregon. Steve
yes.
Schindler out of the state for a rare occasion.
Yes.
Because he's always working. He's always busy. 402-464-5685. Call or text as always. Again, thanks to Midwest Bank for sponsoring hour 2 of our program. But saw this yesterday that Blake Corum and J.J. McCarthy are officially going to enter their names into the NFL draft. Now, Jim Harbaugh also is visiting with the Chargers at some point early this week for their opening for their job. I'm curious, do the departures of Corum and McCarthy make it pretty obvious that Harbaugh is going to leave Michigan or not?
No, not at all. I mean, at some point in time like that, Corum knows that it's time to go, and he had a great season. Can't really do anything better to up his stock. Now, there is a push lately by some pundits, and I agree with them, that sometimes at running back, you might be better to stay. And if you can get good NIL money, because running backs are not valued in the NFL unless you are that. If you're like Gibbs, did a lot of good things last night. He was a first-round draft pick. There's very few of those. That's just not where your money goes. It doesn't go in the running back room. And it's really hard to get a second contract as a running back also. Now, the downside is when you go to the NFL, if you've been playing for 5 years, you have a lot of tread on your tires, and that you've had a lot of contact. Yeah. And so that is a downside to it. I don't think it ends all, and then again, always remember when you hear the report that he's meeting with the Chargers or he's doing this, how many times you read stuff on the internet that's not true? A lot. So I would push back on this, exactly what's going on there, because that's going to be thrown out there. But like I said, would they be meeting with him like that? I would imagine right now that Harbaugh basically has the jobs that he's talking to. Means that it's not an interview. He has been offered the job. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And basically it was the Vikings job that he was he was taking it, that he was getting it, and all of a sudden didn't happen. I think now when he's talking to someone, it's like the job has to be offered before. I'm not going just to be one of 5 people to interview for the job type of thing. I do think this is probably it for him to get back in the NFL. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like every year. If you remember back, if you go back to 2011, 12, about when Alabama was playing Notre Dame for a national championship, after they won 1 or 2, it was highly talked about that Saban's going back to the NFL.
Yep.
That was
you're right.
The last 6, 7 years, whatever like that, not even mentioned.
Nope.
Not even mentioned. I think that's kind of where it's at right now. This is the window right now to go. If he doesn't go, I think he'll be at Michigan for another 8-10 years.
Well, I think that, again, we heard that the contract on his desk for Michigan said that if it's a lot of money, 10-year extension if he accepted, and he said they can't pursue the NFL for a couple of years, something like that, right? At least the 2024 season.
I'm sure there's something. There has to be some.
You cannot pursue it for at least 2 years, something like that in his contract.
Some sort of a setup there. Also, I think it's funny when they're like the contract's on his desk. Is it? Is it really sitting there? Someone think right now he goes, "Hey, before I take off go see the Chargers, honey, go into my office and grab the contract. Where's that? It's on my desk.
Compare them a little bit.
It's on my desk. I want to look at some things there." So I love when people say it's on his desk, and this is 100%. There's so many things out there that who knows. Now the Chargers add up so well just because they have a quarterback, a very good quarterback that's very young, that's very talented. So I think that adds. That's always the thing. Is that, hey, do we have a chance? You better have a quarterback to have a chance. When you watched that game last night, that was a wow. That was an absolute wow.
I never understood, now maybe you can push back, but I never understood why people thought the Raiders would be the top fit for him. They don't have a quarterback. Now, I like O'Connell. I do. I think he's a good player, but he's not Justin Herbert. I mean, Herbert's a Pro Bowl player. That's a guy that could potentially get you to a Super Bowl if the pieces around him are proper and the coaching is right. I don't think right now that Aiden O'Connell is anywhere near the same type of player as Herbert. Now, Justin got hurt this year, didn't play the last 5, 6, 7 weeks of the season because of the finger injury. But if I'm Jim Harbaugh, Herbert's a lot more attractive to me in terms of a quarterback than O'Connell or anything with the Raiders at this point.
Well, the reason is because he was an assistant coach with the Raiders. That's why there's a connection there.
Okay.
He knows, obviously, the Davis family would be what would come up in that. But no, you always want to look, first of all, like, what do we have? And it's always also, like right now, is there anyone that's happier anywhere in the NFL besides whoever wins this thing than the Houston Texans?
Oh my gosh.
Because they've got CJ Stroud for like 3 more years on a rookie contract. That means they get to spend money elsewhere. So they get to build around him like crazy. And they have a quarterback this weekend, the 2 highest quarterback ratings ever were Love and Stroud. That was in the history of the NFL.
In their debuts, by the way.
Like 157.2 was what their QBR was.
Both of those making their playoff debuts.
So obviously Love's a little different because he came in and sat.
Yep.
Which again has been the Green Bay way. And it's worked. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Favre. And then all of a sudden Love sits behind. Does anyone right now think that Love is just a flash in the pan?
No.
I don't think so. Not for how he's his last 8 games, he's 18-1 as far as 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. Before that, it was not good, not real good. They were 2-5. They were 2-5 and
3-6, possibly.
Yeah. So incredible job by them. But like I said, CJ Stroud has to have them, and he did that against the number 1 defense in the NFL. Think about that: a rookie against the number 1 defense in the NFL, and he had the highest QBR ever. So the Texans are ecstatic. He's on a rookie contract for whatever it's 3 more years or 4 more years, so they can build around him. They have a coach that's going to get people to gravitate to him. They have a really good culture, and now they're in the second round of the playoffs.
DeMeco Ryans, the head coach there. What a debut for him. I mean, he makes the playoffs his first year. That team was supposed to be about 4-13 this year.
Yeah.
They had a second overall pick. They got Stroud. They got Will Anderson. They had back-to-back, great picks that panned out. But they were supposed to be bad. There was no expectations at all for the Texans, and understandably so. Yeah, fine. Make it. We think Stroud's the guy, but it's going to take him a couple years. No. His first year, he wins a home playoff game, and they rout the Browns. Like you said, perfect rating, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Joe Flacco threw 2 pick sixes in this game.
Which I didn't realize this because I haven't studied the Browns that much. Obviously, I'm very impressed with him. I've been so impressed with Flacco to come off a retirement to do what he did. But they also, they were leading the NFL in turnovers. They led the NFL this year, which is shocking to have it. The number 1 defense, then also on offense, you led in turnovers, and the turnovers cost them.
They did, yeah. Two pick sixes are going to undo you on the road, especially on the road against a team that is just again. The Texans still. This is the crazy thing, Bill, is that they hosted a home game and still had nothing to lose. They weren't supposed to be there. They won the division because Jacksonville, fell apart. The Texans did not. The Colts were okay, but missed the playoffs. Texans beat them to get in the playoffs, and then they go out there and do that. It's incredible what they have done.
100. 100.
Thank you.
Hundy. Yes.
Thank you. There's a sip for us there.
Yeah,
100.
I'm just
100.
completely amazed by it. And then I said that, and then I don't think he'd be more amazed by. But the final they scored. They said the Packers scored 48 against the Cowboys.
Points.
Scoring 48 in the NFL is like scoring 75 in college. It's what it equates to.
Well, this is the real deal. I mean, 48 points on the road. I know it was a dome, so it was nice weather, but still, the Cowboys had not lost a game at home since September of 2022.
16 in a row, I think.
16 straight home wins they had, and they got absolutely destroyed.
Yes.
It was 27-0 in this game.
Yes.
27-0. Mike McCarthy, again, I'm curious how you view this, Bill, because, again, the number 2 seed, they did not win the playoffs. They lose the first game. Jerry Jones is not the most patient guy in the world, and understandably so. He expects a lot from that franchise, which dominated football for a whole decade. But I'm curious, when it comes to McCarthy, how much, for a guy that did well in the regular season, how much can you criticize him and consider moving on after one poor playoff performance in the coaching profession?
Myself, I think it's 0.
I agree.
That would be a 0 because there was a lot of things go into it. And defense, I mean, just remember too, he's more on the offensive side. They did have 500 some yards of offense, and we're up and down the field. Also in that game, there were some things that were I was beside myself. The fact that before the 2-minute deal with it, that they threw the ball and threw an incomplete pass, and they could have ran the clock down. And then when the clock was running after that, the most blatant personal foul I've ever seen by a player. And so, I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm watching it with Leighton, and I go, I'm still terrified if I'm coaching in this game because I go, they're about ready to score, get the 2-point play and be down 8 and kicking an onside kick. I'm just like, and it didn't have to happen.
No.
None of this had to happen. They also threw the ball when they scored on the 4th down play. They threw the ball on 2nd down. I'm watching one. I go, time now is of the essence. Time, clock moving. Either they use their timeouts or they don't. But they had ran the ball on the play of the personal foul. The clock was running.
Yep.
The clock was running, and the personal foul stopped the clock. And then they also threw the ball. I'm like, what do you do here? It's like easy. You run the ball, and it takes it down to 2 minutes. And no, they throw it, so now they had an extra timeout.
Yep.
That would have happened. The game, they would have never even gotten close to that. And so just some stuff, you can still, you don't ever take anything for granted. I mean, you just, everything is so major. I'll say something that's interesting. One interesting fact on that game.
Please, Bill.
So the best player on the field, not say the best player on the field, the one that stood out the most was the tight end, Ferguson.
Yeah, for the Cowboys, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, three touchdowns. Look, Bunch looked really, really good from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
So his dad is Brad Ferguson. Where'd he play at?
Don't know.
Nebraska.
Oh.
Played Nebraska from South Dakota.
Okay.
At that, he met his wife here.
Wow.
You know who his wife is?
No.
His wife is Dawn Alvarez, Barry Alvarez's
wow.
daughter.
How about that?
So they met here at Nebraska. And that's Jake. That's their son. I coached their older son when I was at Wisconsin, and he was a safety, really good player for us. Did a lot of things for us. But anyway, so the tie there is unbelievable. Ferguson, the tight end, his parents met right here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
That is awesome.
Brad Ferguson was a great player here at Nebraska, and tough dude. A personal, extremely good friend of mine. Both of them are extremely good friends of mine, Dawn and Brad. And I went on fishing trips with Brad with the tight end's dad.
How about that?
Yes, and so
that?
Yeah, and so Jake in high school was a tremendous player. And I remember then I went then to Ohio State, and I took him to the recruiting coordinator there and said, I've got a tight end I think we really want to look at. Now, he was going to probably, no matter what, going to go to Wisconsin at that time, but they felt he wasn't good enough. And I think he probably is.
I think
he's in the Pro Bowl.
I'd say 3 touchdowns in a playoff game.
He's in the Pro Bowl. He's playing in the Pro Bowl. But anyway, there's a tie there from Nebraska. So like I said, his parents met right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Don Alvarez and Brad Ferguson.
There you go. I love the factoid.
Yeah, and they're both great human beings. And if you want to spend some time with someone fun, spend it with Brad Ferguson. That is a place, that is one person you'd like to be able to get to know. He lives out in Wyoming. He is a PT guy out there, spends his time trout fishing and doing some things out there. But yeah, unbelievable guy.
One last thing before we move on from the Packers-Cowboys game. I'm curious, you watched the end of this game. You pointed out that all the stuff that the Packers did wrong to keep the Cowboys alive. The Cowboys in the final drive, I'm curious, you as a coach in this one, because me as a fan, like, what are you doing? When they throw the ball to Schoonmaker and he stays in bounds. They have no timeout. Yeah. You got like 7 yards. Yeah. It wasn't like a huge play.
And it was easy and it was easy to get out too.
But he was on the sideline.
It's like, just get out. Just get out. Because I was almost wanting him to score because I wanted to see the mayhem.
I agree. I wanted to see it too.
I wanted to see the mayhem because I was just so taken back that this game was even still going. Yep. I was like, I was told late, and I go, there's been so many errors here that this should not be happening at this time. And then they kicked twice. They kicked what I call the Texas Twister onside, where they lay the ball flat, and it makes it very difficult on who has to recover and how you're going to be able to handle that. They were able to get, but the one time the ball squirted through and then they ended up getting on it. But there was, if they score there and there's still a minute to go, and they're kicking an onside kick, it would have been nuts, completely nuts. And it shouldn't have happened. It never should have happened.
No.
Time is of the essence. Always remember that. Time. Eventually, when the clock runs out, the game's over. You can't do anything else.
And you're right. Going back to that third down play the Packers ran, you just open up a whole can of worms by dropping that pass.
Yeah.
There was 2:16 left when that ball was dropped. So they had a chance. They had 2-minute warning, which
they run it down to 2. They're out of timeouts. And then,
what are you doing?
And so you're looking at the game, then also there's like whatever time left. I'm like, this thing would be over. This game should be over.
Nope. You brought it upon yourself.
And it was one of those things that they showed the coach, and he was mad like the ball was dropped. I don't think he was going to get the first down either.
No.
And it was like, don't be mad. Just be mad at yourself for the call of what could happen in that time frame. But a lot of things happen like that, that's for sure.
The Packers win 48-32. They're moving on to play at San Francisco. First 7 seed to ever win in the playoffs as they expanded to 7 teams in both conferences. So congrats to the Packers. We'll have more next, an early break on the ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Vershawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently. The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relieved. The team at The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage. They hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats. Dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people. Small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Is your furnace operating like you think it should? Find out with a service check now from the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough system check to make sure you're good to go this winter. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchanger checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
This
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
is Early Break with Sip and Jedd, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you are bummed about NFL being over for the weekend, don't be bummed. There's 2 games today. There are two games today. One of them was supposed to be at noon yesterday, but there is a massive blizzard.
What's the latest update
Buffalo
on the weather today?
Well,
How much snow did they get? They were saying maybe 3 feet.
I think it was at like 2.5 to 3 feet last time I checked. But they've hired people to scoop out snow from the stadium.
I don't even know how you get out 2 to 3 feet of snow.
No, they have like these chutes. They put it down, but how do you get the chute? There's so much that goes into
I can't
this
imagine
process.
the work it takes to be able to do that.
As of right now, the game is at 3:30 p.m. today. Steelers at the Bills. Bills are 10-point favorites.
I get the part where this is who we are. We're the Bills. I get that, but just get a dome. Vikings got a dome. They're up there in that miserable weather.
Detroit has a
dome. It's just make your fans not be. I know the Bills Mafia, which I have great respect for, but the dome would be nice. But I don't hate it. I mean, but as far as me from a fan standpoint, like right now, I'd much rather see the game outside.
Yes,
I want to watch the game in these. So I don't want to watch the game. It's not. But I'm just like I would think some parts it would be better.
I really enjoy the fans like, oh, come on, it's football, play ball. If you saw the video, I mean, they showed video of yesterday at noon, what that place looked like. It was literally impossible to play. Literally. You could not have played a football game in there at noon. It was not possible. I love the elements. I love that it's fun to watch those games on TV, but you couldn't see anything. You could not see anything.
I didn't even see that.
It was just swirling snow, wind, incredible wind.
Like they're talking winds up to 50,
right?
With 3 feet. Can you imagine a blizzard? What do you guys got going? 50-mile-an-hour winds. How much snow? 3 feet. Right now, our place got shut down right now for like several days on 12 inches to 14 inches type of thing. Just imagine adding 2 more feet to that, and then the winds also at 50. Yeah,
it's just impossible. But I'm with as a Dolphins fan, and I am down with the dome. Please bring a dome to Buffalo. I'm sure Jay Foreman was chiming in and say, no. That's the advantage of the Bills. Bring no dome.
And I enjoy that part of it. I just say if I'm a fan, I guess you'd embrace it well enough to enjoy it. But like today, I want to see it in the weather. I do. I don't want to see it in a dome. But I did enjoy watching that game last night. In the dome because there was some great football being played.
Right. There was no concern about wind or snow playing a factor in either game. The Cowboys game was in a dome, both games in a dome. Very high scoring games.
I agree.
So I know that fans probably wanted to see that played in the worst elements, and it will be some elements still in Buffalo today for the Steelers game. But please build the dome. Build the dome. The other game, Eagles and Bucks tonight. That's tonight
at the Bucks, right?
It's in Tampa. Tampa is playing good football. The Eagles are not playing good football. They in the playoffs, losing 5 of their last 6 games.
Well, that would be if the Bucks beat them. That would be one of those. Because at one point in time, they were the clear 1 seed. They weren't they like 10-1.
10-1. They were 10-1. They were.
So just imagine that if they lose in the first round of the playoffs. That would be a devastating blow to that team. And then it's kind of like when you have your window of, obviously they had their window last year in the Super Bowl. Yep. Now they have this window. Windows leave. They don't just keep staying the same. And so that'll be interesting what that team looks like. I don't know. I don't know what the team looks like well enough. I don't know what the overall team is, like who's back and what all those things.
Has Hurts got the contract yet at all? I forget. Has he got the big contract?
Oh, yeah. He's one. At one time, he was the highest paid.
I always forget that.
I think then Joe Burrow took over. Is the highest, but he got his contract.
All right,
he has his contract.
Gotcha. But we're going to see the Bucks are the Eagles are favored at Tampa. I think by 2.5 tonight.
I can see that. I don't think Tampa Bay's playing well. I don't believe that.
They're playing better right now, entering the playoffs than Philadelphia is. Anybody is.
That I would agree with.
That's the key there. So we'll see.
It would not be a shocker for the Eagles to win at all. Would not be a shocker.
No.
But for some reason, something has went terribly south with the Eagles.
I don't even know. I mean, there's been some injuries, but Jalen Hurts is still there. AJ Brown I think he's banged up, but he's still been playing. Devontae Smith's playing. Running backs, I don't get it. Their defense just fell apart, and the offense has not found its way either. And they have the tush push, which nobody can stop at all, but it's not working. It doesn't matter when they get to the tush push; they're already down in the game. So, Eagles, Bucks tonight, and Steelers.
But 2 games today. That's kind of nice. I wish it was a little later. I wish that first game was a little bit later, but I should be able to get to it. I think I'll be able to see it. If it's good, I'll definitely get to the second half.
I don't know what year they started doing 3 days of playoffs. It used to be Saturday and Sunday.
I don't ever remember them. Was it even last year? I don't remember the Monday. I don't remember the Monday game.
Might have had one. I mean, again, there's supposed to be one Monday game because the one got pushed back.
It's super intelligent to have the one game. I mean, you get 3 days of NFL.
Yep.
And it's playoff football.
Yes.
That's different. Yep. That's better. So it's really, really exciting.
Yeah. So again, I don't know. Ohio Husker says I think AJ Brown is out tonight for the Eagles.
He is out. I did see that.
That's significant. It's significant for the Eagles. I don't know. Again, there's meltdowns every year in every sport. I don't care. It's NFL, what sport it is, but you go 10-1 and you collapse, you lose the division, you go on the road. And if you lose your first game, that is going to be just, you think that Dallas is fun sports radio today? Imagine Philly sports radio tomorrow if they lose this game tonight with the meltdown they had.
Dallas has to be worse, though, because they hadn't lost a home game in 16 games. And at one point in time, it was 27-0. At one point in time, it was 27. And also, right before halftime, they dropped an interception in the end zone.
Yep.
They would have kept it at 27-0 at halftime instead of getting the score back to them. And then went down and scored again. They got up to 34. So it was just remarkable what had happened, because I was talking to Leighton about this because the defensive coordinator has been taking a brutal amount of heat at Green Bay. Joe Barry, they've just been crushing him. They've not been real good. And Joe's a really good personal friend of mine. We coached together at Northern Arizona. And so great person. Rod Marinelli, who used to be the head coach with Detroit. I think they didn't win a game.
He went 0-16.
And known as one of the greatest D-line coaches ever. He also was coordinated at the Cowboys, been around forever. Joe Barry married Marinelli's daughter. Anyway, but Joe was great. I used to go over to they lived in on-campus housing at Northern Arizona, and I lived in a little apartment. So I'd go over to their house and we'd watch Seinfeld on Thursday nights, me and Joe Barry and his wife. And he was really funny, a great dude. So I was pulling really hard for them. And that's why I wanted to not have the buffoonery of throwing the ball and the clock stopping, because he was like just trying to because Dallas is really good.
Yeah, they are.
They're really good.
Good offense.
You keep giving the ball back. They're really, really talented across the board. And so, but I'm saying the meltdown in Dallas right now has to be, and also it's just because you're either you're 100% Dallas fan, and any other fans are all against Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're Farley and you're a Falcons fan, he also hates Dallas, I would bet.
Dolphins fan Jake hates Dallas.
Hates Dallas. I mean, so it's like some teams are like going like, hey, do you hate the Jags?
No.
I don't hate the Jags.
No problem with the Jags.
No problem. Don't even really care. No, I'll watch him. I'm not getting worked up at the.
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, Carolina Panthers. You worked up if they? Nope. Don't care. But Panthers fans hate the Cowboys, and so it's all against one. So the pile-on will be like I'm sure Twitter and whatever else is just going crazy after that game of different things. Farley posted some stuff.
He did, yeah. Farley said he put a picture of Jerry Jones saying,
playing quarterback.
Bleep it, I'm going in, basically. Old man Jerry playing quarterback. Yeah, so I don't know. I just can't with the Cowboys. Yeah, that's just an incredible meltdown. And that, like you said earlier, Bill, it's the fact that they have good offense, but their defense has carried them too. Dan Quinn is mentioned in every open job. He is.
It was wildly known that he would not be back next year because he will be a head coach at one of the other franchises.
He should have won a Super Bowl already. He blew it. He had the biggest blow was against the Patriots. They were up 28-3. We all know the score, 28-3. He should be a Super Bowl champion already as a head coach and failed. And 48 points.
But he's the number one guy named. And so I'm sure that he's taken a lot of heat, which I don't believe he should on this, but it's like, well, he must have been concerned about something else besides this, because defensively they had a rough night. They had a rough day.
It was rough.
The pick six was really rough too. But
yeah, that's not going to help. Yeah, 27-7 at halftime. They did score with no time left in the first half. The Cowboys did to at least give himself a chance.
Yep.
Then they get a field goal. Okay, we're bouncing back, and then here comes Aaron Jones just to wipe you out, 34-10, and that's the way it went.
It goes.
All right, let's play the game show. Give us a call right now at 464-5685. Your chance to take down Bill in trivia. Remember, when Sip's gone, it's good luck, Bill. It's not beat down, Bill.
I'm not good at this. I don't even like being a lifeline. I'll hit a few lifelines occasionally, but I don't feel good about this. So the chance of winning right now, you want to call in.
I'm going to say
your odds are you're in the 80 percentile just from making the call.
I feel like today this is a very easy topic. I'm trying to work us into the week without Sip and the listeners also.
This is where I wish they would talk more about just, history of Pender would be nice.
Maybe we'll get that on Tuesday, but Thursday possibly.
History of Pender.
Throwback Thursday could be history of Pender.
Could be.
Today's topic is NFL playoff wide receivers, guys who have played. Either they're playing today or they've already played this weekend.
Oh.
If you watch any games, Bill, if you watch any NFL.
I didn't really watch a whole lot, and I don't know current rosters.
Well, we'll see.
Well.
These are guys that were that are in this year's playoffs.
Not good.
Wide receivers, 464-5685. Good luck, Bill, starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Again, Sip out all week, so it's good luck, Bill. All week. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, get back on there. Go back on the air.
It's good luck,
I'm live.
Bill, all week. Today, again, playoff wide receivers. What teams do these guys play for in the NFL? We got Kevin. Kevin, how do you feel about NFL playoff wide receivers this year?
I play fantasy football, so I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, that's not good for me.
That's a good start for Kevin there.
Kevin,
all right.
Go ahead.
Kevin, Bill, is no lifeline for Bill. It's mano-a-mano here. So first question goes to you. What team, Kevin, does Romeo Doubs play for?
Ooh, that'd be my Green Bay Packers.
Brilliant!
Romeo Doubs.
Wouldn't have had it.
You wouldn't have had it?
And I watched him play last night.
He had 150 yards yesterday.
Last night, I didn't. Wouldn't have got it. Wouldn't have got it. I watched the game.
Romeo Doubs of Nevada. Wolfpack guy. A 1-0 lead for Kevin. Bill, first question. What team does Nico Collins play for?
Texans.
Brilliant!
See? Yeah?
There you go. I listened to some on the radio. That's why I had that on the radio. If I just been watching me, I'd have got that.
Nico Collins of the Texans.
1-1.
1-1. Back to you, Kevin, for the lead. What team does Tutu Atwell play for?
Tutu Atwell goes to the LA Rams.
Brilliant!
Had that one.
He had a long
I did have that one. That throw and catch was incredible on that play.
I thought it was picked off. I saw it off the bat.
That was the mistake that was made on the play. I talked to Leighton from House Menders on it. He went for the pick. He should have just went with, we use the term long arm.
Yep.
Just with it one hand, knocked it down. So he went with two, and it got past him.
2-1 lead for Kevin to stay alive. Bill, your last question. What playoff team does Deontay Johnson play for? Wide receiver, Deontay Johnson.
Here's a win for Kevin. I have no idea. Deontay Johnson. Let's think about this now. Give me a second.
5 seconds.
Hang on. Count a little slower.
5, 4, 3.
I was going to say the Chiefs.
Chiefs. He is with AD's Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Play today, 3:30.
That's where I got bamboozled a little bit. I thought they had to have already played.
Nope. I said it could play today. Could have already played.
I thought they played today.
It's okay. We'll get Kevin his bagels. Kevin, thanks for calling in and calling down the road.
Nice job, Kevin.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there we go. So win for Kevin. But we know you are a stud at tiebreakers here, Bill. So here's your last question.
I had the last one on the nose.
You did.
204.
Okay, if you get this on the nose, I'll be very impressed. Extremely impressed. Nico Collins led the Texans in receiving yards this regular season. How many yards did he have?
1,198.
Pretty good. 1,000 297. So you're like 101 off there. That's pretty dang good.
Pretty good.
8 touchdowns for Nico Collins for the Texans. Breakout year for him, and obviously C.J. Stroud in his first year. And they are going on to the second round of the playoffs.
What a great show. What a great job by Jake Sorensen.
Hey, Bill.
Jake gets stuff done.
Now, here's the deal. I am proud of you for watching NFL. Because you've said before, you don't love the NFL. You're a college guy, and I respect that.
But playoffs is so different.
It is.
So different. Like I said, the chance of me watching the Amazon Thursday game, like week 4, like none. But the playoffs are so different.
That's because you got to get on Amazon Prime, which is the problem.
On there, but that whole I will say this: I got the phone call from my dad, who's 88, and he goes, "I'm trying to find the Chiefs game." I go, "Don't worry about it. Can't get it." It would have been too colossal for them to build.
I know what you want, Dad. I can't help you.
You can't help with that. He goes, "I've got Amazon. I got Prime. Nope, not good enough." He's like, "Wasn't it on Thursday on Amazon?" It was. We went to an alternate plan here. That's just horrible. It's just horrible.
I got the phone call.
And we were able,
I know this is about.
What helped us was that we were already Peacock members, so we went over to the house route. They weren't. We were able to use our login because we were to do that to get logged into that. And so, but yeah, that's now Peacock's done though, right?
No more Peacock. Yep, Peacock is done for the playoffs.
So,
that was a one-time thing.
Thank you.
Maybe some college basketball games still, but no NFL.
Gotcha.
So we get the one Peacock game, and it was not good for the Dolphins in that one. But
thank you, Breakers.
Thank you
for the concussion update also.
That was from Dallas Trout.
Dallas, yes.
Thank you. That means a lot to us. It means a lot. We'll have the spillover next on an early break on the ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Busch on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, southwest Iowa, and northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Couples Relay GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G2076684.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
We're on the air. Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jake.
Jake, you're a freaking nutcase.
Brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover with Chris Raff and AD on a Monday. Gentlemen, good morning. Good to see you here on another negative degree temperature morning. Just we're in hell right now, basically. Or Antarctica, one of the two. Can't really tell. Kind of stinks.
It's good to see you, Jake. I was kind of had my questions whether we'd see you this morning.
Well, here's the deal. I told AD this when he walked in. I said, no matter what happens today, AD, the Steelers were in the playoffs longer than my beloved Miami Dolphins, thanks to the schedule on that one. But Steelers are 10-point dogs today on the road at Buffalo, who just had a massive snowstorm come through. I see there's pictures of the stadium. It's hilarious how much snow was in there still right now.
It's wild.
But, kind of a disappointing, I think, first couple days of the playoffs. You had a nice game last night with the Rams losing by 1 to the Lions. First win in 32 years in the playoffs for the Lions, which is a great story. But otherwise, 3 clunkers before that.
You see who took the mantle now for the longest time for an NFL team not to win a playoff game?
I'm very aware. It's the Miami Dolphins have not won a playoff game since the year 2000. I had yet to turn age 9. I'm 32 now. Have made the playoffs 2 years in a row, which never happens. And they fell short at Buffalo last year. Played well with a third-string quarterback. Not mad about that. Pretty upset about Saturday night. Not surprised at all how it went down. I had friends texting me, guys, in the morning saying, I feel good about the Dolphins. I said, just stop. Please. It's -5 degrees. I know it's cold for both teams, but one team plays in it more often than the other team. And one team is not as beat up defensively as the other team and is also has Patrick Mahomes, who does not lose in the postseason.
You know, Jake, the thing about it is too, man, granted, obviously the temperatures, et cetera, it's a huge factor. But even more so, I would say, your Dolphins were just depleted injury-wise, man. I mean, it was, how many guys do you have? Was it 6?
The Dolphins had, I believe, 6 defensive starters out.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're playing in great, let's say that game's in Miami, you still have 6 defensive starters that are out against Patrick Mahomes. I'll put it this way. With those 6 starters in, do I still probably like KC? The reason why I say yes is because of the temperature, number one. And of course, Patrick Mahomes.
And Andy Reid.
But
both those guys.
But not by the score that it was, though. Not what the score was.
I mean, the thing is, this is just truthful. It's hard to say it, but that was the best score that could have happened for the Dolphins in that game. The Chiefs were in the red zone the entire game, and they could not score touchdowns. So I saw Chiefs fans saying, I'm getting a little nervous. I'm like, guys, the Dolphins haven't moved the ball at all today. Tua sucks in the cold. Tua's weak in big moments anyways, which is another story to begin with. And how do you handle the future for Tua in Miami? You're not going to move him this year, but if they don't win a playoff game next year, I'm talking a playoff game.
Right.
Again, our expectation, we'd love to say Super Bowl, but when you haven't won a playoff game since 2000, it's number one, win a game and see what happens after that.
Now, you guys, too, you have got to get home field advantage, because if you don't, Tua in any type of inclement weather, I mean, it's been very evident, like, just watching him throw that he just does not have the arm strength. So you put him in any type of inclement weather with a wind or anything like that, that just hampers them more. I mean, if they play in Miami, it's not as noticeable, but man, the last couple of weeks, I was like, man, his arm talent's just not up to par with the big arms in the NFL.
Again, this is just the way it goes. I'd be really curious how the Dolphins would have played in a dome, because the Texans were in a dome. The Browns didn't show up. They got blown out by CJ Stroud, who played incredible. The Packers played in a dome in Dallas, and I'm not listen. I'm not making any excuses. The Dolphins crapped it down their leg to end the season, but the problem is this. I told you guys this last week, is that the Dolphins season was screwed before they even played on Sunday night last week, because when your Steelers got in and the Bills got in, that meant that the Dolphins, again, the matchup I wanted, no offense to you, was the Steelers in Miami. The Dolphins, I think, could take out Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
That was the least scary matchup of Bills, Chiefs, or Steelers. You would agree with that. You're not going to push back on that.
No.
But the moment that the Titans beat the Jags were out. The Steelers could only play in Miami if there was a tie between Dolphins, Bills, which was never going to happen.
No.
So it was either you win the game and you play Buffalo again, which is a certified, guaranteed loss, or you go to KC where it's -5. The Titans screwed the Dolphins twice this year, when they beat them in Miami and when they beat the Jags.
Yeah, that was because, like you said, either scenario, you didn't want to go to KC for obvious reasons.
No.
And then you're going to play, Buffalo for the third time.
No.
And back-to-back as far as that would have went.
Josh Allen, Stephen Ross is the actual owner of the Dolphins, but Josh Allen is the real owner of the Dolphins, because the Dolphins can't beat him. I was telling Josh before the show, he's like, who owns the Dolphins? I said, Josh Allen. Stephen Ross, exactly, but Josh Allen. You're not beating them twice in a row. No way.
On Wikipedia yesterday, they changed the owner of the Dallas Cowboys to Aaron Jones.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, here's the deal. I want to thank the Green Bay Packers for a second, because they took away the most embarrassing loss of the weekend from Miami. To no doubt about it, what happened with the Cowboys is unbelievable. This is a team that had won 16 straight home games. They had not lost a game at home since September of 2022. They're the 2 seed against the 7 seed. Jordan Love's making his first ever playoff game, and he looks like he is Aaron Rodgers out there. And Dak looked like he was some sort of corpse out there for the first half.
Yeah, it was that game first, for so many reasons, just made you scratch your head. Like you mentioned, that lost, the only team in the NFL that hadn't lost at home this year.
Yep.
Protected home field. They had everything lined up. CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, the defense that was supposed to be staggering. That defense got cut up like cheese.
The whole game.
Pun intended. The Packers, they cut them jokers up like cheese. It was bad, man. And there's a lot of questions that are going to be asked, and a lot of decisions are going to be made. Because Jerry Jones There's no way in Hades he's going to deal with this.
He's done.
But at the same time, man, McCarthy had such a great regular season. They got the 2 seed. Yeah, I know it comes down to how do you perform in the playoffs. I get that, but this is like a couple. You guys remember back? There's probably, I don't know, back in the mid 2000s, the Chargers went 14-2 with Marty Schottenheimer. Okay, and they lost their first play as the 1 seed. They lost their first game, and they fired him after going 14-2.
Yep.
Now the Chargers never won anything. They've never made it back to the Super Bowl. Never really. They made the AFC title game, I think, once or twice, but that was pretty extreme after an incredible season they had.
Yeah. But you know what? That shows you the NFL. It's like that old acronym. Not for long. It's not for long. And unfortunately, McCarthy, like you said, I don't see Jerry Jones keeping it, man. I just don't. Even though they had a great season, they did. There's a lot of available coaches right now.
Well, the ones out there right now, and I think it happens. I think Bill Belichick will be the coach of the Cowboys next year.
Josh said, "Ooh."
I'd like to know.
It all lines up.
Let me ask,
Bill Parcells went and finished his career with the Cowboys. Bill Belichick, protege of Bill Parcells, that will end up he'll be the Cowboys.
Let me ask. We have several out there, but Cowboys fans tuning in right now, 402-464-5685. If what Raph just said is true, and 72-year-old Bill Belichick becomes the head coach of the Cowboys, are you a fan of that? Are you saying, no, we don't need an old guy in here? I'm very curious because Belichick, again, the last 2 years, they've not been very good. They bad quarterback play. I would be surprised if he's the coach there.
Belichick?
Yeah. Is Mike Vrabel an option in Dallas?
I think there's a lot of options. I think here's what I do know. Against I do. Here's what I'd bet a large wager on. That it ain't gonna be McCarthy.
True.
I don't know who it's gonna be, but I don't think it's gonna be McCarthy.
Today, you think he's gone?
I think it's today or tomorrow. Yep. Yeah, but I don't think he survives past midweek. I just don't. And should he be fired? I mean, the guy. I mean, he had a heck of a year, but in Dallas. I mean, and think about this. And as long as it's been since they've been to advanced to the playoffs. What was it? 1990? What? 90?
Oh, which one?
Dallas. Last time they advanced past the second round.
28,
first round.
28 years.
28 years. Yeah, 28 years since they've been there. I mean,
94.
I'd be shocked if McCarthy was still coach.
Got this on the text line from Pete Ferguson, big Cowboys fan.
Oh, Pete.
He says, no way on Belichick. Don't want him.
Get ready. Get ready.
I don't. Yeah. I'll say here, Raph expects it. I'll be surprised if it's Belichick, and I will gladly say I was wrong if that's the case. But if I'm the Cowboys, I take a long, hard look at Mike Vrabel and say that I know he came off a bad year with the Titans. That guy has won, though. He's been to the AFC title game, twice? Once or twice?
Yeah.
Once.
Once for sure. Once for sure with the Titans. With Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, by the way.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
all right.
It's going to be interesting, man.
That is it for us. The Drive with Raph and Edey is next for Steve Sipple, who's out today in Hawaii, and Bill Busch. I am Jake Sorensen. See you tomorrow.
Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over.